Welcome to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Here's your host, Casey Bubba and Scott Bogman.
And welcome back, everybody, to another Pre-Snap Podcast brought to you by LineStar Sports. Check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar NFL. This episode will be getting you ready for the Thursday night showdown action, barn burner. Ravens at the Dolphins. Such a great game. Make sure you can check me out on Twitter at BDentrick and my co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Excited to see this game. Excited to live stream it over at ITL. Thursday night games are usually fun. Last week kind of got away from us, right? The Colts and Jets,
and
which
the late comeback was interesting.
It did, and got my revenge on you in the showdown last week. So love that.
Like I said on I texted you that night. I said, "Oh man, good call on Doolin. I'm gonna change some things around." I sent you the lineup I used everywhere else, and it crushed.
It crushed. Yeah, you played the normal lineup on me. I had to flip out. I think I had to flip out someone. No, you know what? That was the week before. That was MVS. Yeah. So, but Doolin was a decent call just because he had 2 catches.
And he was free.
And pretty much free. So I have another one, but I don't know if you'll agree with it. So
we'll check it out. There's we'll
see the call. I didn't play him. I didn't play him in my lineup. So I did. Yeah, I did.
Never you've already built your lineup. This is great because
I sent you an invite.
I know. I build mine as we go. This is going to be fun. Boggs has already done some research. Let's dance. All right. So we do have, like I said, Thursday Night Football. Ravens are 7.5-point road favorites in this game versus the Miami Dolphins, and it looks like Tua is going to be out. He's a game time decision, but let's just say he's out. Make life a lot easier on that one. And Lamar Jackson's been the nuts when it comes to captains, but there's other options. Bogman, how do you see this game playing out first?
Well, I see this game playing out as Baltimore winning, kind of going away. I did pick them. You picked Miami, so we have different ones, but we both picked the over in this game as well. So I think there'll be some points scored here. And just because both these teams aren't playing great defense right now. I know Baltimore's given up a ton of yards through the air. They're also leading usually. So, they have a good record. So a lot of teams are playing catch up, trying to play point for point with them, that kind of stuff. But I think this is a Baltimore win going away. So I do have more Baltimore Ravens in my lineup, but I do have a Miami Dolphin as my captain.
You do? Well, then stop hiding the news. Who's your captain this week?
Jacoby Brissett, I think, playing comeback, throwing that ball the whole second half against a pass defense that is not great. Hashtag not great. And he loves to do those dump off passes instead of runs. A lot of dumps to Gesicki, to Waddle. They only let Waddle run 8-yard routes. So you're not allowed to go. They don't go further than 12. We can't let you go further than 12. You have to run 8-yard routes, Jalen Waddle. You have 9 catches for 56 yards every game. So, he'll have a lot of completions. Hopefully someone will break one off. Averett giving up a lot of yards. So, Patrick Queen and the linebacker's not particularly great in coverage either. So give me Jacoby Brissett as my captain. Let's go.
I don't hate it. It is a reasonable play, but for me, I am going with Mark Andrews. Andrews is captain. As I see the Ravens throwing all over this, I'll have some Dolphins players. Don't get me wrong, but I like some Mark Andrews as captain here. I think it's going to be a good safety valve over the middle. There are holes in this Dolphins defense, so have some fun with it and give me a little Mark Andrews at the Capitan position. With that being said, I'm going to have Lamar Jackson on my team, of course. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I think you almost have to. Like, he's just clearly going to be the highest scorer of this game, as he's the leading passer and rusher for the Ravens in every game. So an easy pick. I also have Lamar.
Yes, I think that's a very, very solid one as well. And then who do you got after Mr. Lamar Jackson?
Well, I'll give you my free play here, and we'll see if you agree with it, because it is a Dolphin. It's Albert Wilson. Preston Williams has been sat down 2 straight weeks. Week 8, the Miami coaching staff had said that it was disciplinary. Week 9, they said not disciplinary. So he's just sitting. And Albert Wilson, I think he had What did he have? He had 17 snaps last week, so 23%. Parker is still on IR as well. They said Will Fuller's trending in the right direction, but I just don't think he's going to play. I know Isaiah Ford scored the other day, but Isaiah Ford, 4 snaps last week, 8 the week before. Wilson plays ahead of him. And I think Miami is going to be playing catch up late in this game. So maybe Albert Wilson catches one and breaks one off. Maybe he gets in the end zone by accident. I don't know, but he's $400. So he is a great punt play. And I have him in my lineup. So he is my Doolin of this week will be Albert Wilson.
Doolin of this week. I like the cojones you throw out there with that. What I'm going to say is last week with Brissett under center, Jalen Waddle had almost 26% target share. Gesicki about 20.5. Then Gaskin and Mac Hollins both had over 15. Then Kirk Merritt had 7.7. Adam Shaheen, Durham Smythe, and Albert Wilson all had the same target share, a little above 5%. Each had 2 targets in that game. So there are cheap plays.
Merritt's cheap too. Merritt's actually cheaper than Wilson. He's $200.
Merritt could be the guy. He had 3 targets last week. He could be a nice one to look at. Shaheen, Smythe, I don't mind any of them. Honestly, the guy I'm going to look at, I'll give my cheap play out now to mix it up a little bit here. But my thing moved.
Oh no.
I think what I'm going to do with the injury situations and to try to roll the dice here, and this is a total GPP play, because that's what we're doing here. Give me Patrick Ricard of the Baltimore Ravens. He had 3 catches on 5 targets, found the end zone last week. No carries, but with Lat Murray out, they're going a lot of Freeman, and they're using other running back situations here. Because honestly, between him and Ahmed of Miami as my punts, but I already have 2 Dolphins. So I'm going 4-2 Ravens-Dolphins stack. So going to be Patrick Ricard as my punt option.
So Ricard, I missed by $100 because of the way I set my lineup up. I actually have $500 left over, but I don't really mind not burning money in
leaving money is a good thing in Showdown.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if it's a good thing, but it's definitely feasible. It plays. It works. So I have I had Ricard in there, but I missed when I started moving stuff around. I missed him. Should I go ahead and give my next guy here?
Yeah, give the rest of your lineup, and then I'll give mine, and we'll talk.
All right. So I have Jalen Waddle, as you mentioned before, just crazy high target share, playing comeback, get 12 targets a game, all that stuff. $8,200. I love him. I have Devontae Freeman at $6,600 as well. I think he gets in the end zone. Still no Latavius Murray back. And then my last play here, I'm going to go with the rookie, Rashad Bateman, $5,800. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping he can get either 5 catches or get in the end zone once. Give me one of those 2, and I'll be happy at his price. So that would be my total lineup would go Brissett as my captain, Lamar, Albert Wilson, Bateman, Waddle, and Freeman as the rest of my lineup.
All right. We have a lot of similarities. My last 3 picks were Bateman, Waddle as well. And then I had Mike Gesicki in there. Tight end, Thursday night tight end party is what my lineup would be called. I have 600 left over. So I have Andrews at captain, Lamar, Bateman, Ricard, and then Gesicki and Waddle. My biggest concern is no Hollywood Brown, but that's one.
I also have no Hollywood.
Yeah, he's been so darn good. So facing you, I feel okay with that. But in tournaments, Hollywood is a great captain play. He's a very good one. I'm going to go with Andrews to be a little different, but I have no problem. Like, you basically use Andrews or Brown. Take your pick. Yeah. But I think using Bateman, like last week, Bateman had 8 targets, Andrews 10, and Marquise 12. And a lot of Marquise's was in overtime. A lot of it was in overtime. So keep that in mind. And air yards, Mark Andrews and Bateman still led that. So if we're looking for the big plays, looking for the tournament plays, they all had 1 red zone target. Ricard and Andrews are the only end zone targets between that group. It's going to be an interesting week. What about if you're looking for another punt, Bogman? And I don't need him because my lineup's full and your lineup's full. But for the listener's sake, what about Duvernay? Dev Duvernay, your boy from Tejas.
Devin Duvernay.
He's 4,800, so it's not like cheap, but
I love Duvernay, but yeah, he's not. I don't think he's cheap enough here. Look, if you have messed with your lineup enough and you have that much left, then I love Duvernay. He can return kicks and punts too, so I love him. But he had that great one-handed touchdown catch. I think was that last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
He's my guy. I love the Longhorns. I love Devin Duvernay. I just, in this setup, he's not cheap enough. So I think he's priced appropriately. And we're not really looking for appropriately. We're even either looking for those high end guys or the super cheap guys, and he's kind of in the middle.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm heavy on the passing games. You got some running backs, at least one running back in yours. I think a couple guys we did not have at all. No Hollywood, which is interesting. No Gaskin as well, which I'm fine with that also. Yeah. And then it gets real interesting throughout the rest of the lineup. So keep an eye on Sammy Watkins potentially coming back. I doubt he does, but he could.
But if Watkins comes back too, that eats into Duvernay and Bateman a little bit.
So I'm hoping by now Bateman just takes over Watkins. We'll see.
It's Thursday. I don't think they're going to play Watkins.
Yeah, I think I'd be surprised if he's back as well. But I think that'll wrap us up, Bogman. Yep. Thursday night showdown in the books. It's going to be a fun one. Bogman, 1 win. I have 1 win. This is game 3 in our best of whatever series we have going on here. But it's going to be a fun one. Make sure you check out Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BD Hendrick LineStar. Make sure you download the app, give it a rate and review, all that good stuff. We'll be back with you guys on Friday with a pre-snap main slate DFS preview. For now, catch you all later.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Please like, comment, subscribe, and rate for good karma in